welcome back to my channel. I want to thank everybody for the love so far. Like, it's been exciting. If you love what I'm wearing, I got gifted this beautiful dress by someone on Instagram. I'll put her description in the box below. If you call me, I'll put her description, babe. Anyways, that's what it is. If I sound like I'm speaking like I have a lisp, I'm wearing my retainers. I am an Invisalign babe, and yeah, I'm trying to continue my journey. I fell off for a while. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about how I met my husband. In the previous video, a lot of people wanted to know how I met my husband, and I thought to share. Like, I begged him to come on this video and he said no. So whatever version I give you guys is what you take, right? So anything I say, it is what it is. Anyway, so I'll start with a little backstory. I met him while I was 14 and he was 15 in church. We used to attend MFM then. Prior to that, we had just moved back from Houston. My mom, like I said in the previous video, my mom had cancer. We went to America for her treatment and whatnot, and then when we came back, we started going to my dad's church because she passed. And prior to that, we were not going to MFM. We used to go once in a while. We used to go for Palm Must Change Hands. We used to go for crossover service, but ultimately we used to go to my mom's church, Redeem, because my dad didn't live in Lagos. His job used to transfer him around a lot, so he used to come on some weekends, and when he's home, we would go to his church, MFM, but that wasn't really our church, right? So now she's passed, and then my dad asked his job to transfer him back to Lagos because he has these little children he has to take care of. Them transferring him wouldn't work anymore, right? So they transferred him back to Lagos, and then we started going to MFM. So we get to church, and then I see this really annoying guy. Topper was very annoying. He used to behave like Chad Dylan Cooper from Sunny with a Chance. I don't know if you guys know that Disney show. Like, he had that exact behavior. He was very argumentative. He used to like so he was very argumentative. He used to argue with the teachers. Like, they'll talk about something about my husband. He likes to reason stuff out. If it doesn't make sense to him, it doesn't make sense to him. He likes to talk about it, how he feels about it. So he used to do that a lot with the teachers, talk about characters in the Bible, the teacher's perspective, because you know how, no offense, MFM teachers just bring their own spin to things. And then he just used to talk about it. I'm just like, who is this ITK that just wants to disrupt the class? Anyways, it was annoying, and he was even in a choir group. They called themselves a cappella boys. They were so raz, no offense. And then every Sunday when they say who has a special number, they will come out and they will sing Ijaba every freaking Sunday in the worst voice. But then I have to say that Topper's voice was nicer than the rest of the boys. If they're listening, I'm so sorry. This is the truth. It is what it is. Anyways, they used to sing this special number. But then I liked him. I liked that he was I liked that he used to like talk with the teachers. He was very smart. Like, his take on things were very different, but it was really smart. So I overheard him one time talking to another friend of ours, Toby, and then he was telling Toby that, oh, I like that girl. That's referring to me. Toby was like, oh yeah, she's a fine girl. She get past, but she no get future. Meaning she has a big bum, but she doesn't have any boob. I mean, teenagers talking. And then I was just like, yeah, you guys are so stupid, because like I have a future. Like, what do you think I have a future? Like, it's there, it's coming. It's actually coming. But then I was just like, yeah, anyways. But then I did like him. So eventually every Sunday we'd see and whatnot. And then one day he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I think that was my first relationship. Was it my first relationship? Or am I romanticizing this story? If any of you dated me before this, if you remember the timeline, please send me a private message so we can discuss this. Private message, please. Don't expose us. Just private. Anyways, so I think that was the first. I was just like, yeah, you'll be my boyfriend. But then as teenagers, I was 14, was 15. What exactly were we doing as boyfriend and girlfriend? Absolutely nothing. The only reason why I even knew he was my boyfriend was because when he's now arguing with teachers, I was supporting. Like, get so dumb. And then there was this other babe that like was moving a bit funny. I won't give out her name in case she watches this one day. And then the only reason why I even knew as girlfriends, because now when she's being funny and laughing at his jokes, like overly laughing, I would stare her down like, what are you doing, sis? Like, what exactly are you doing? That's the only differentiation between us as boyfriend and girlfriend, and before we were boyfriend and girlfriend, I used to stare people down, stare that babe down. I almost said her name. And then, yeah, and then I'll join him in his arguments. That's the only thing. This went on for like maybe like 6 weeks. Wasn't really working out, because what sort of stupid relationship that when during the week we wouldn't even speak because he didn't have a phone, and I don't know. We used to speak on Facebook sometimes, but then all of a sudden we stopped talking because I think his phone spoiled or something. And then I was just like, one Sunday I was just like, you know what, this can't work. We have to like call it quits. My first breakup. Nobody was sad because it was what it was, and people moved on, right? So this was SS1 when I moved back, and then SS2 went by, SS3 went by, and he went to school. He went to uni in Jand, and I went to Covenant University. And every summer when he comes back, he would try to get with me. But then I'll be like, oh my God, I have a boyfriend. I can't hang out. My boyfriend wouldn't like this, blah, 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 and blah. And then every time he comes back, Christmas, he will try to reach out. He will try to hang out. And Christmas, he would try to reach out, he would try to hang out, and I'll say the same thing. Summer would come around again, say the same thing. Oh, I have a boyfriend. As a chaste babe, I like to like. I mean, I was just it was anyway. So fast forward, every summer he was trying to get with me, and yeah, I didn't budge. And final year, I was in my 50 in uni, and he came back that summer. I was dating somebody actually. I was dating somebody like for a while, right? I was in a serious relationship, and the summer he came back again. I said, oh, I can't hang out, but then I was just like, this is my friend. And I forgot to add that back in the days, his name used to be David Omagbemi. Come to find out that that's not even his real name. He gave himself the name the same way I gave myself Agrippina. David is not his name. He said he just liked the character David in the Bible, and he just wanted to be like David, and he named himself David. So back then I used to call him David Omagbemi. Even my siblings, one and even they'll be, when they're trying to whine me, they'll be like, oh, David's babe. Anyways, so yeah, so when that summer final year, I was just like, this is my friend from church, we go way back, blah 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 blah, let me see him. And I was starting a fashion business at the time, so I had a bunch of tailors I was working with. So one day I was like, okay, I'm going to my tailor shop to go and like talk about designs and whatnot. And then I was like, oh, David's house is right next to my tailor, literally right next to my tailor's shop, right? It's close. I should say hi. So I message him. I'm like, oh, are you around? I would stop by. I want to say hi and all of that. And oh yeah, sure. He was so happy. Cool. Yeah. Let's come through. And then the person I was dating, right? I didn't tell him I was going to see my friend. Shady behavior. Don't try this at home. So I told him I was going to see my tailor, which wasn't a lie. And when I was in David's house. In Tokwe's house, which one is David? When I was in Tokwe's house, my ex then started calling me back to back. And then I wasn't picking up because I was so scared. I hadn't been in this position before. I just wasn't picking up. Not like anything happened. We're literally just gisting in Tokwe's house. Nothing actually happened. But then I was so scared I wasn't picking up. And then when I got home, things escalated with my ex, because when he called and I finally picked up, and he was going on, and I won't go into details. I'm sorry if you're watching this. I'm so sorry. Things ended that way. Yes. Anyways, we broke up that night, and I was like, okay, cool. I have all the time now to face this guy that I think I like. I mentioned that when I was in uni, anytime he compliments, if I post a picture of it, he always used to compliment me, and then it just used to make me feel so good and so special. Like his compliments just they bang differently. They were just so different. Like I was just like, oh my God, I like him. I really like him. Anyway, so I'm like, cool. I'm broken up. I don't have a boyfriend. I was going for NYSC now, and we're like, after a while, maybe like a month or two after my breakup with my ex, he asked me to be his babe. I was like, okay, fine, cool. But then he was going back to Jan for school again, and I was going for NYSC, and things were just messy. It wasn't really working out. Communication was very bad, we went on to see other people, and yeah, we're still talking, right? During that time, we're still talking, and eventually when he came back, when he was done and I was done with NYSC, I was seeing somebody again, seriously. And then he used to try to come and see me But then I would be like, oh my god, I'm seeing somebody, I can't. And then one time, I used to live in VGC at the time, and then you know how you have to call the gate or you have to give a gate pass. I didn't give a gate. One day he showed up in front of my house and he was looking so buff. I remember it was wearing a black shirt that had like white polka dots, tiny polka dots. And I was like, this nigga is fine. It's bonita. He looks bonita. I was like, okay. You see, we're working with something. And then I was like, okay, I like him. I really like him. And then he invited me for his sister's wedding. No, he didn't invite me for his sister's wedding because he was like, you've longed me for so long. My friends have told me to give man, like to stop dealing with you because like you have you give me mixed signals. One day you're hot, another day you're cold. You like me today, you don't like me today. So all my friends, I'm like, they don't want him to date me, and I'm not like, whatever, man, but you're fine. Do you think you want to bang though? I'm joking. Anyway, so we eventually got together after that day when he was looking buff, and then I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see how this works. And it was going well. Our relationship was actually really good from then on. Like, we started dating seriously, like I don't know whether he was in a rush to marry, but from that point it was very serious. We didn't marry obviously like maybe until like 2 years after that, but then it was like very serious. Like, we're in a committed relationship. He moved into the house we're living now, and then I used to be there a lot. Like, I was a wife. I was doing wife things, except like I didn't used to cook. Like, I was doing wife things. I would show up, I would do so. I didn't used to watch. I was working in a shitty job then. I was working in the bank, and life was so difficult. Like, I was losing my hair. My hair was falling out. I was like, but we were in a committed relationship. Anyways, after that, that's the end of how we met. And yeah, and things just went on from then on, and it was so good. So I'll jump to how he proposed, because this is a 2-in-1 video. So after we got together, we're together from 2017. Again, don't quote me on this timeline. If you know anybody I dated in this timeline, or you are somebody I dated in this timeline, just send me a private message. Let's talk about this in the DF. I would apologize for whatever hurt I caused you, but this is the reality. This is what I was doing at that time. Yeah. So in 2019, when it was time to propose, like I said, I read his message with my brother when he was saying that, oh, I'm going to propose, blah 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 blah, we're going to Dubai. And then I have some videos of all of this, right, this proposal. So we went to Dubai, and every time on the trip I'll think, oh, this is when he's going to propose, right? Never happened. I even did henna. Like, I have one video of me doing henna, like dancing like this, because I thought, oh, it would look nice with the ring, like when the ring is there and then the henna and black, everything is, it would just be so fancy. And then I would just be like, oh, he said, he asked me, I said yes to my best friend. All girls good at henna. Yeah, that was the plan, but yeah, that never happened. And then we came back to Nigeria. We went to a Japanese restaurant, and are you getting me? Are you getting me? That night, but then I had been drinking a lot. Like, I had been drinking so much. So when he was even talking, I was just like, is this real? Is this not real? Whatever. He put a ring on my finger. I hated the ring. I absolutely, do you know that I tweeted when I put out the video or the picture of my ring? You know how Twitter people, they have no joy. On Instagram, everybody's like, oh my god, lovely, congrats. On Twitter, somebody even said, which kind of ring be this? Why it look like I can't remember the words, but then he said, why it look like something, Sha? And then I was so like, oh my gosh, they're going to drag me. So I took down the ring, but then I didn't like the ring, and that's not the ring I even saw in the picture that he sent to his friend, because I had also seen a message where he was showing his best friend like the ring he was going to propose. I'm like, this was not the plan. This is not the ring. I absolutely hate this ring. I'll put a picture of the ring here. And then I told him, I was so scared, but I had spoken to my cousins and my sisters, and I told them that, oh my god, you guys, I don't like the ring. And they were like, oh, go ahead and tell him, like, tell him. And then I thought, like, would it be too forward of me, like someone proposed and I'm like, oh. And then I saw the receipt of how much he spent on the ring. I'm like, it's a lot of money, like shitload of money. But then I told him, and he was like, okay, cool, we'll change it. I was like, okay, this is what we're working with. So he took the ring. Well, he didn't take it immediately. We went to get it. We sent it back. We said they had to send it to wherever it was made. It wasn't in Nigeria, and it took a while to come. But that's jumping. Anyway, so when he had the ring, so that night he proposed. I said yes, happy. Told my family members, everybody was happy. Apparently they all knew, obviously, and yeah. And I didn't think the proposal was enough. I was just like, I don't even remember half the thing. Nigga, I was drunk. I was a bit, I wasn't passed out, but then I was gone. Like, I can't remember what happened. Apparently he said a lot of nice things. I remember saying, oh, but then I don't remember. So anyways, this was a week to he proposed April 25th. I wouldn't, shit. Is it April 25th now? Yes, he proposed April 25th. Fast forward to my birthday, May 24, right? I was at work the morning before. I had stayed over at his house. I woke up, I was looking for the ring, and I didn't find it. I just thought, do you know what was so wild? Somebody had come to clean our house the day before, like, and then I just kept saying, I hope she didn't take it, because that would be so sad. This is a ring that we're going to change. I hope she didn't take it, because that was the first time she was cleaning the house. I was so sad. I checked everywhere, not knowing that this guy had taken my ring, and he had taken it because he was going to propose later in the day again on my birthday, and he had planned me a surprise party. So I was at work. I remember even speaking to him during the day about how this ring is missing. What do we do? And he kept on saying, and he kept on being dismissive. I was like, okay, whatever. And I never get surprised, right? But then this one, I didn't know anything was going on. I remember at work, when it was time to go, I was in charge of the vault. I was the assistant branch manager, so I had a lot of responsibilities. So I was meant to close the vault, make sure everybody's balanced and all. That day, I sped through my work. I was done immediately. 4 p.m. immediately, customers stopped coming into the bank. I remember I even turned down one person that was bringing bulk cash to count. I'm just like, not today, sis. Today is my birthday. We're not doing this. So I told the security man, when I saw her dragging her money by 4 or 5, because usually on a normal day, we would let you in, even if it's past 4, right? That day I was just like, no, you do this all the time, but today, like, other people have lives. I remember saying, having this dialogue. So I told her to bring the money back the next day, but then I was just like, okay, anyways, just come in. And then we counted the money really fast. I even joined the tellers, everybody, to count the money, and then we balanced on time. So by like 5 o'clock we're done, and then I was about to go. The zonal head, my zonal head, was working out of my brand that day, and she was like, oh no, you can't go, I need you to do something for me. And she sent me on one silly errand. And looking back now, I think she did that. She obviously did that to store me. So my husband had told my friend at work, Fee, to store, like, to make the process long. So Fee had told my branch manager. So my branch manager had given me, and made that customer come in for bulk and everything, and everybody was just doing stuff to annoy me. And then when the zonal head now said, oh, you have to call all the branches, like, she was zonal head for the whole of the VI subzone, this extent, Lekki, Aja, Epe. She said I had to call all the branches and find out something silly for each branch. So here I was on the phone calling each branch. Oh, what was your closing something for today? Something. I was recording it and I was compiling it. I finished at 6:30. Now it was time to go home. I get home, and then I get in the house, and people are there, and everybody said, oh, surprise. And then he gave a speech, and he asked me to be his wife again. And here we surprise! Someone that didn't call me all day. Kiss again. Did you steal my ring? Oh my god, you stole my ring. I was looking for my ring. And when you were in on it, you made me think it was in the dustbin. Oh, you can stop now. You already asked me. Can I say no? I will say no. Hug and kiss now. I know where the ring can go. Hello? You're supposed to hug and kiss. Kiss now.
Why do you want to see your brother? This guy's so
Wait, nigga, you stop. Can you move?
She said fuck off.
Can you people just kiss?
Kiss.
No.
Kiss.
Kiss first.
Peck. No, lip kiss now, no.
After he proposed May 2019 officially. We had spoken about, oh, we won't get married immediately. We just need to know that we are engaged. You're my fiancé. I'm your fiancé. You're my fiancé. Whatever, how you say it. My auntie say fiancé. That's why I jokingly said that. Anyway, so we said, oh, we'll give it time, maybe 2020, whatever, and then we would do it. Right? We would get married. But then we eventually fell pregnant. Do you know the funny thing is, the day before I found out I was pregnant, I had been talking to one of my friends, Fola. We were telling him that, oh, 2 years will stay, and Fola just kept on that you guys seem a bit relaxed, that the way I'm looking at you, it doesn't seem like it'll be 2 years. There's something very relaxed about you guys. So it's literally on a Sunday evening, we're watching I think we're watching Big Brother or something, like Sunday evening, and then the next morning I was getting ready for work from his house, and then I see like pregnancy test strips in the bathroom that I had like from time. You know, when you're like misbehaving, you just always have to be prepared, you have to be ready, so you always have to have this thing. So I just jokingly had it was the last one. I was like, oh, let this one not go to waste, let me just try it. Come to find out that I was actually pregnant, like very pregnant, and I was so scared. I remember just being very cold and just shaking, because I'm just like, oh my god, what is going to happen? And then I told my sister-in-law. She was the first person I told, and my sister-in-law runs to buy like those actual ones that tell you how far along you are. And then I used it, and he said 3 weeks. I said, how do I tell my daddy that I have been busy? Like, how do I tell people? Like, what do I say? After all the noise, I first thought about Fola, like, how do I report this gist to Fola that we are pregnant? Anyways, so this was like, found out like in, I don't remember, but then I remember that I was so scared for a very long time, and then we had to tell our parents, obviously, and our parents were like, oh, we can't stay till next year, we have to do it immediately, we don't want people to know, we don't want the church to know. Eventually, the church didn't eventually marry us for some other reasons, not because I was pregnant, they didn't know, but for some other reasons. And eventually ended up doing a garden wedding in December. We had to move it closer. We did introduction sharply. The introduction in September. We did cuts in November. We did trad and white in December. And for some, I wasn't even showing. Thankfully, I wasn't showing at all. Like, the way my pregnancies are always very good to me, I never really show. And then eventually we started living happily ever after, right? And 2020 Corona hit, and we're stuck at home, and we had all the time in the world to bond and to grow into this new phase of marriage and parenting, because we had our baby in April, and we had plans. We're like, oh my gosh, for honeymoon we would go to we'll go to Maldives. We did eventually go. We went for our honeymoon in December after our wedding. Obviously, I wasn't showing, I wasn't sick, nothing. I didn't have any of those bad pregnancies. So we went for our honeymoon in December. So we went to the Maldives. It was really fun. I can insert pictures and videos here. 4 years after, with 2 beautiful children, and I couldn't have asked for a better man. Tope is the best man for me. He's the best man for me, and I believe I'm the best woman for him too. And God has been so faithful. He's literally my best friend. You know, when people say your best friend, like, I don't feel any, there's no forming, there's no, like, this is your person, like, this is what marriage is, like, he's your person. And I feel like it's just been God so far. Like, everything has been going well. God has blessed us. We are doing well. We're doing very okay, and I'm just so happy. I'm so happy to be his wife. And this is my recollection of how we met and how he proposed. But if there's any other variation, since I begged him to come and he said no, this is what you guys will take, because this is my channel anyways, and anything I tell you goes. But then I'm a child of God, I wouldn't tell lies, so this is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so blessed. Like, I am so grateful for the love and the support, and I'm going to do more. If you need me to see anything, I'm still going to do a video on how my experience working in bank and all of that. But any other thing you want to know, let me know. Anything any video you want me to do, just let me know. I'm here for you. I'm here to serve. Reminds me of when I was working in the bank. That's how we used to pick up the phone. Good afternoon, how may I help? How may I be of service to you? Phone speaking, how may I be of service to you? Anyways, how may I be of service to you? Just let me know. Thank you so much. Bye.